Hello everyone and welcome back to Coloring with Haley. It's been a while since I've done a color and chat type of video, and we are going to do one today. We're going to do a tag video actually for Halloween because it is Halloween, of course, and that is my favorite holiday. We are going to do a picture out of 50 Halloween miniatures. We're going to do this little dog in the pumpkin hot air balloon because I think this page is super cute. And I'm going to do the color scare tag because I think it's a perfect tag for Halloween. I have been sick for some of this month, but I am feeling a lot better. I'm going to make a video in November that's just kind of going to be a regular color and chat. It's a little bit more serious. I was going to do that this month, but I didn't get time to, unfortunately, just because I was kind of down for like a whole week, feeling pretty bad. So that will be coming soon. But we are going to start out with this one and the tag, and I'm going to color the pumpkin green, I think, already because I talked about this in my September finished pages, but they just don't give you enough oranges in these marker sets, and I am out of orange in my Ohuhu markers. So we're going to do green for our pumpkin here. And this is a big tag with a lot of questions, so I have them like saved on my phone, so I'm going to be kind of looking at my phone for a little bit. And I was tagged, sort of, by Michelle from Kits and Caboodles, who did this tag and said that anyone who wanted to do it could do it. And I've seen a lot of people do this tag and it just seemed really fun. So I'm going to say that's who tagged me. The first question is, what weapon would you choose if you were in The Walking Dead? And you guys know that I'm a big, huge Walking Dead fan. So I do have an answer for this question that I've thought about like extensively in my life as a Walking Dead fan, both reading the comics and the TV show. I would pick Lucille. If you're not a Walking Dead fan, Lucille is the bat that, the character Negan uses, and it's a baseball bat with barbed wire wrapped around it. That is the weapon that I would pick, and I do have several reasons for that. I wouldn't want a weapon that takes any kind of ammo, even a bow and arrow, because there's a chance you run out of ammo. Now, I know a bow and arrow versus a gun would be easier to get ammo for because you could craft arrows way easier than you could, ammo for a gun. But still, what if you're in the middle of a situation and you didn't take enough arrows with you, then what do you do? I know the bat is more of a close range weapon. You'd have to be pretty close to the zombies versus, like a bow and arrow or a gun, you could be kind of at a distance. But I think that, I just think the bat's a really good idea. Also, it's one of my favorite weapons in The Walking Dead. I just think it's such a fun weapon and a fun character. I think that it wouldn't take a lot of effort. My thing with a knife is, if you're close range, I guess you could also use a knife, but it would take a lot of effort, I think, to stab the knife into a zombie because, they have bone and everything, and I think that, I think it'd be hard for a knife to go through that. But, like, a couple of good swings with a baseball bat, I don't even think you'd have to put too much behind it. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe it would be harder to use a baseball bat than a knife. But also, the baseball bat is a little, longer than, like, your average knife, so you wouldn't have to be as close. I just really like Lucille, and I actually have a replica of Lucille sitting above me. Maybe I will show it at the end of the video if you want to stick around and see it. Because, like I said, I'm a big fan of both the comics and the TV show. But I would definitely want, I would want the bat. I think it would be, I would probably do a metal bat, though, because that would be even better than wood. It'd be even sturdier and pack more of a punch behind it. The second choice that I was thinking about was Michonne's two katanas. Those are similar to a knife, but a lot longer, and also with the katana, it's like the blade is long enough that you could, like, chop off some limbs, I think you'd have a lot of trouble doing that with a knife versus the katana, so yeah. That would be my second choice. I don't know, there are a lot of choices of weapons in The Walking Dead that I see characters use that I'm like, that's an awful idea. Why would you use a gun? Because, of course, if we go by the logic in The Walking Dead, the noise attracts the zombies, so I think that would be just the worst weapon you could possibly choose, is the gun. So yeah, Lucille for sure. And like I said, I have a replica of Lucille that I'll probably show at the end of the video if I get time. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes me to finish the page. I don't want the video to be an hour long because it won't upload on my internet anymore. Our internet's just too slow to be able to upload a video that's an hour long. So we'll just have to see if I have time. So the next question was, if you were paid to stay in a haunted house, would you do it, and how much money would it take, and why? So I actually really liked Michelle's answer to this, and I have a similar answer. I wouldn't do it because I don't sleep very well away from home. I kind of have to be in my own bed to sleep. It's not even that it's haunted. It's just that, like, even at hotels, I don't know, I just don't sleep well. And if I don't get any sleep, then I wake up really cranky, and also I wake up feeling really sick. I'm one of those people that if I don't get enough sleep, I wake up nauseous and I have a headache and everything else. And so I wouldn't do it just because I wouldn't be able to sleep very well at all. Not even, you know, the factor that it's haunted, just because it's not my own bed. So yeah, I would have to say no, I wouldn't do it. They would have to give me a lot of money. Enough money to make up for the fact that I'm, like, feeling crappy waking up the next day, that since I didn't get any sleep. And I don't exactly know how much money that would be. It would have to be a lot of money. It would have to be a lot of money for me. But yeah, I kind of have the same answer. I was laughing as Michelle was kind of saying the same thing, because that was when I had watched other people do this and talking about, you know, oh, I couldn't do it because it's haunted, I'd be too scared to sleep. I was laughing because I was like, I just wouldn't sleep whether I was haunted or not. The haunted is not the problem for me. So I was laughing when Michelle kind of had the same answer as what I had been thinking. Yeah, I wouldn't do it just because I couldn't sleep. I haven't actually been to a haunted house. I have family members that have went to a hospital in, I think it's in Louisville, Kentucky, that is supposed to be haunted, and they do tours of it, and they took pictures. That's creepy. I don't know if I would do that. It was like an abandoned mental hospital. And I don't even know if I would do it because of the creepy aspect, but it's just sort of sad to me, some of the abandoned mental hospitals. Even if it was turned into like a museum, it'd be very hard to tour because of the way, obviously, that we used to treat mental patients, you know, back in the 50s and the 60s, and the things we were doing to those poor people. They kind of have a very dark history, so I don't even know if I'd ever tour something like that, because they're kind of dark and depressing, and seeing the stuff painted on the walls and the pictures where the people would like write help on the wall or something, it's just really depressing and sad. So yeah, I wouldn't even tour one, you know, not even stay overnight, just do a daytime tour of it, because they're so sad and depressing. So that's my opinion on it. I haven't even been to, like, I technically legally can't go to like a haunted house where the people jump out and scare you, because I do have a heart problem, and you know, they don't let people with heart problems in there in case you were to have like a heart attack or something. So I've never even been in one of those, but I don't think I'd have a lot of fun in one. Okay, where'd I put the lid? There we go. I'm gonna come back in a minute and do some outlining on that, but I was going to let it dry and do the I don't know which one to call this, I guess the wire. But let's look at question 3. What superstition / urban legend do you believe in? I had to go look up some superstitions and urban legends, because I don't know that many, and I guess didn't know what constituted as a superstition or an urban legend. You know, I don't really believe in like Friday the 13th or the Black Cats or any of that. I don't believe that dolls are haunted, but old dolls do creep me out. I just don't like them. They just look creepy. Even the old Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls just kind of creep me out. But in looking this up, I did find out that there's apparently an urban legend from here in Missouri called Zombie Road that is allegedly a haunted road somewhere in West St. Louis. That's very popular, I guess, kind of tourist attraction because people drive down it at night trying to find out if it's actually haunted and trying to see, if they'll get chased by ghosts. There's some bridge down the road, and, allegedly crossing the bridge at night, you can hear, people wailing and screaming, and that's kind of freaky, right? So I thought that was interesting because I didn't actually know that there were any urban legends surrounding Missouri. I guess, Bigfoot is an urban legend, right? But Bigfoot's not really in Missouri. I think we have the Ozark Howler, which is supposed to be some sort of chupacabra-like creature that has, deer antlers. So it's almost like a chupacabra and a jackalope. But, I don't really believe in those either. I don't know, I guess I'm more likely to believe, the old wives' tales, kind of, that focus on, gardening and stuff, rather than any of the weird, creepy stuff. I do think I have a lucky number. That's not exactly a creepy one or a negative one, but I do think my lucky number is 18. So, I guess that might count as, a superstition or an urban legend. But, yeah, for the most part, I don't really believe in them. I'm not really a, spiritual person, I guess is what you would say, for the people that feel like they're kind of connected to ghosts and spirits and stuff. That's definitely not me. But, if you believe in that, that's cool. No discrimination there. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing, but I did find the part about Zombie Road interesting because I had never ever heard of it before, and I've been to St. Louis, several times, so I thought that was really cool. Let's do some stuff around the pumpkin there like that. So, I kind of have a non-answer for that, I guess. Number 4 is, what horror movie did you never get over? So, I've been watching horror movies since I was a little kid, thanks to my dad, much to my mom's disapproval. He and I would watch horror movies after she went to bed because she can't handle watching anything horror related at all. I told you she can't even handle watching The Wizard of Oz because she doesn't like the flying monkeys. So I've been watching horror movies since I was a kid, and I'm not bothered by any horror movies. I guess even as a kid, I was like, it's fake, Frankenstein, vampires, monsters, Freddy Krueger, whatever, they're not real, right? So they don't really bother me. Zombies, that kind of thing. It's not real, so it doesn't bother me, it doesn't scare me. But I will say that I can't watch anything true crime related too late at night. I can't. I like some true crime stories, and I just dropped that marker all the way down there, so I'm gonna have to get that in a second. I find it interesting, but I have to do it during the day. I can't watch, unresolved or unsolved mysteries at night, especially any ones that are stories of, women and children just kind of up and gone missing, or kidnapped at the gas station, or the home showed signs of a break-in, but nothing was stolen, and the people went missing from the home and were never found. That stuff will keep me up late at night. That will haunt me because it's, that's real. That actually happened. We still don't know what happened to those people. You know what I mean? Even, stories about Ted Bundy, though we eventually caught Ted Bundy and put him in jail. That stuff, I can't read it too late because, it actually happened, and that kind of creeps me out, and watching that, I'll have to make sure that, 3 or 4 times that the doors are actually locked and everything. So that's more of the creepy stuff to me. I'm gonna have to go back in, I think, on the eyes and do them this dark green. Rather than horror movies. I do have a movie that's a non-horror movie that freaked me out permanently, and that one was actually thanks to my mom, who is the one that doesn't really let me watch creepy movies. I've seen Twister a lot ever since I was a kid, and now I have, this terrible fear of tornadoes. I don't know, something about that movie with the old lady who's, I don't even, I can't watch it exactly, so I don't know the characters' names, but she seems to be a family member of one of the main characters, and her house is kind of destroyed in a tornado, and they have to go in and get her and her dog. No, that creeps me out. That will keep me up at night, too. That gave me, like, a horrible fear of storms. So, I have to say Twister is the one movie that, like, really affected me. What's your favorite scary and or Halloween coloring book? So, that's a good question. I really like this book here that I'm coloring in right now. I think this is my 5th page that I've done it this month. And if you're wondering, wow, that's a lot of pages. It is because these are easier pictures, so I'm able to get them done, you know, a lot faster than I would a more complicated book. But I also really like Jade Summer's Easy Halloween that they put out this year. I've also done a lot of pages in that. So it's really hard to pick between the two of them. I kind of want to say maybe this book because I really like the black backgrounds, but at the same time I also kind of like the slight amount of grayscale in the Jade Summer one, so it's a really hard pick for me. I don't know. It'd have to be a tie between those two, and I don't know if I can say that it's a tie or if I have to pick for sure, but it would be a tie between those, I think, right now. And number 5, well, that was number 5, oops. What is the scariest book you've ever read? Okay, this goes back again to the true crime thing. I've read a lot of horror books. I own pretty much everything Stephen King's ever written, even his book Rage, which is out of print. And that doesn't bother me. Like, the Stephen King books don't bother me. My favorite one, that's also a hard question. But no, they don't scare me, exactly. You know, it would go back, once again, to more so true crime books. Those are the books that I can't read, you know, after dark or anything like that, because those will creep me out. Any of the unresolved mystery true crime books, and yes, I read them. I just read them during the day. Any of the books like that, those will creep me out. So I don't exactly have a horror movie book or like a horror book that bothers me, because I really love Stephen King. You know, I've read most all of his work, and none of it really, you know, I know that The Shining is, the haunted hotel is not a real thing, and I know that, like, in Carrie, you know, she has the powers, it's not real. Same with Christine, the car that comes to life. I guess Cujo is probably the most realistic one, because dogs can get rabies, and I've seen Cujo. Actually, I really liked Cujo, and I had a St. Bernard that I wanted to name Cujo, but my parents vetoed that name, so yeah, it'd have to be, and I don't really even have a specific true crime book that I think's the creepiest. Just any of them that are about, like, serial killers or people that have been kidnapped and never found, you know. Any of that kind of thing definitely creeps me out more than anything horror movie, because it's real. It actually happened. You know, these people are actually still missing, and we may never know what happened to some of them, and that's more scary to me, never knowing what happened to some of those people, you know. And I'm going to color this little dog like my mom's actual dog, Bella, because this sort of does look like her, even with the little chubby arms. So yeah, I'd have to say there is an author, and I cannot think of her name. She got very famous for writing a book about, I believe her dad worked with Ted Bundy, and she's since written a bunch of wonderful true crime books, and I own several of them, but I cannot think of her name. So I would nominate, like, any book by her as being the creepiest, in my opinion. Okay. If you were a scary monster, what one would you be? I have a weird answer for this. I don't even know if it's like a scary monster or if it's more like an urban legend, but people in Pennsylvania believe in something called the Loveland Frogman. This is also something I found out by looking at superstitions and stuff, and it's basically just a giant frog that walks around on 2 legs, and I think it's a little bit of a funny monster. So I would want to be the giant frog that walks around on two legs. Just because I like frogs a lot, and I think it'd be nice to be a frog, you know? You just sit in your pond all day, you don't have to worry about taxes or college or anything, you're just a frog. So yeah, I'd want to be the Loveland frog man. I'd want to be the giant frog. That's my weird answer for that one. I think I'd enjoy that more than like being a werewolf or something. If I was a vampire, I'd still have like, you know, human worries. What's the scariest place you've ever been? I don't even know that I've ever really been anywhere scary. I've never, like I said, I've never been to even a real haunted house or a fake one. So I don't think I've ever really been anywhere, yeah, that I would consider scary. One time after a concert, I was starving, and Doug and I got Waffle House, and it was sort of like 1 a.m. and that made me a little uncomfortable and a little nervous because I'm not used to being out at places like that late. So I guess Waffle House, I don't know. Waffle House at like 1 a.m. was scary. I was fine and the food was good, but you know, it's just a little unnerving to be somewhere that late because you're kind of thinking, are the other people here people that came home from concerts and they're hungry, or are they like creepy people, you know? So yeah, I guess Waffle House at 1 a.m. Again, I've never been anywhere that's like haunted or anything like that. Are you scared of the dark? And if so, what scares you most about the dark? No, I'm not afraid of the dark per se. Because I do live in a very rural area, I'm very cautious of being outside at night in the dark because I live in an area that's so rural. We do have bears, we do have mountain lions, we do have bobcats, we have coyotes, and we have feral hogs. And I actually think the feral hogs are the most scary out of that because, you know, they come up in big groups and they're really, really dangerous. They'll really go after you. Whereas I feel like, I mean, I know people get attacked by bears and coyotes and stuff, but I just feel like where I'm at in such a rural area, they're not as used to people and they're a little more shy, whereas the feral pigs don't really care. They'll come right up on your property. They're really, I don't know, I guess they're really courageous for a wild animal. I feel like the bears and the coyotes, though I can hear the coyotes, you know, rather very far back in the distance howling at night sometimes, they mind their own business. They don't come up as close as you see traces of feral hogs coming up. So I'm not exactly scared of the dark, but I'm cautious of it, and I'm cautious of it because of the wild animals that live in it. You know, if I was like living in a big city and it was dark out and I knew I wasn't going to have to worry about mountain lions or anything, that wouldn't exactly be, yeah, I wouldn't exactly be worried about it. I'd be like, okay, you know, it's dark, it's fine. But yeah, the worry of like, I don't know, going outside and walking upon a feral hog or like a mountain lion or something, that does creep me out. I would prefer not to, and there has, according to my neighbors, there was one time a mountain lion in our dumpster, but they scared it off and it's never came back. So I guess that shows you that my worry over them is kind of, it's founded. Apparently they come close to where we live, so I do take a flashlight with me out at night, and I have the dog with me. Not that he's any help, because he's sort of a big baby, but, you know, maybe he would at least bark or something and alert me that there's something out there. So, do you go to the bathroom with the lights on or off after a scary movie? I just go to the bathroom with the lights on no matter what in the dark, you know, because I'm gonna think I'm sitting on the toilet and misjudge it and fall. So I always have the lights on. I'll never go to the bathroom with the lights off. I need them on so I can see where I'm at and what I'm doing. It wouldn't matter if I watched a scary movie or not. But again, like I said, scary movies don't really scare me. I don't exactly have nightmares at all related to scary movies or anything like that. My nightmares are weird, usually. The last time I had a nightmare, I can remember telling Doug about it, was that someone had stole some of my animals, and I was like fighting them to get them back. So my nightmares are weird, and they're not usually influenced by me watching like a scary movie or anything. So I would still go to the bathroom with the lights on no matter what, though. I do, like, especially after watching a true crime thing, I'm, like, making sure the doors are locked 3 or 4 times, the blinds are closed, nobody's gonna be looking in the house at night, that kind of thing. But that's just for the true crime stuff more so than scary movies. Oh, it also says, if you have a closet, would you need to have the door fully open or closed to sleep? I like it to be closed just because it annoys me that it's open. Again, not really even a scare thing, it just annoys me when it's open. I don't currently have a closet, I have some clothes racks, because we kind of turned the upstairs of the house into a bedroom and it wasn't exactly designed to be a bedroom. But yeah, I would want it open. Again, not exactly for a horror movie sense, just because it annoys me. Do you prefer to watch scary movies with others or alone? I'll actually do either. I don't have a preference. I really don't care, I guess. I like watching movies with other people. I enjoy showing people that like scary movies. The movies that I think are good scary movies. And I like scary movies so much, though, that I'll even watch, like, the B movies that are, like, not so great, you know. And sometimes the bad movies are funny. So, doesn't matter to me. I guess I'd prefer to watch it with someone just so I can share the experience with another person and be like, oh, this is such a good movie, you have to see it. And I like to see other people's reactions, especially to, like, any plot twists in the movies or anything. The Mist is a good one that has kind of a big plot twist, I think, at the very end. I am going to pull out a orange cow tree marker to do this flag. Just because I need an orange. I kind of want to do the flag in orange and black. Would you want to be a vampire, zombie, or werewolf? And why? Out of those, I think I'd want to be a vampire. Okay, the zombies are like living dead, right? They're not cognitive, you know, it's not like they're making their own decisions or anything, so I definitely wouldn't want to be the zombie. And I don't know, turning into a big dog in the full moon doesn't sound that fun. Vampires are immortal, right? We're going with that. Like, they live a long time, and that's not exactly... I don't know, I wouldn't want to be immortal. But I think out of all of those, being a vampire would be the most fun, because vampires turn into bats, but they control it, right? I wouldn't want to be, like, I don't know, out having a nice dinner because I forgot it was a full moon and then I suddenly turned into a dog, like a big dog creature. That wouldn't be fun. I would want to have control of my ability to, like, shapeshift or something. So I think I'd have to pick vampire because that would be the best out of all of those, in my opinion. I wouldn't want to be a zombie because, yeah, I don't know, I've never seen a horror movie where the zombies, like, are thinking, you know what I mean? They're always just brain dead, I guess, because they're dead. So definitely no zombie, and yeah, I wouldn't want to transform without having a say in it. So I'd pick vampire. Would you participate in a zombie run, and would I want to be a zombie or a runner? Yeah, I would do it. I would absolutely do it, and I would totally want to be the zombie, of course. I'm gonna do my ghosts. I think it would be really fun to get to be the zombie and to chase people around. That just sounds super fun to me. And I haven't been to a town that has a zombie run. I wouldn't want to be I wouldn't want to run a marathon. Okay, so I wouldn't want to be the person, like, actually running the marathon. I just think it'd be fun to be the zombie and chase them around. Let me do light blue on the other ones. Let me find a good light blue. Let's do 66. I think I could dress up as a very convincing zombie, you know, for something like that. I think it'd be fun to participate in. There's a town near me that has a goat run. They do a marathon where they release a bunch of goats with the marathon runners, and the goats run around. And I think that's fun, but again, I just don't want to run a marathon, you know? I'm lazy. I don't want to do that. So I wouldn't choose to be a marathon runner ever, I think. But I would definitely be the zombie, especially because zombies are slow. Or, well, okay, now, you know, There are some zombie movies where the zombies are fast and they run, but like for the most part, most zombie movies depict them as being slow, so I don't have to run, you know? I can just kind of amble around and like chase people. Slowly though. So I'm not running. I'm not running the marathon. I'm not running the whole mile. So yeah, definitely zombie, just because, I don't know, I'm lazy. I don't want to run a marathon. But also, I would have fun being the zombies. Do you prefer gory, creepy, or cute and spooky? I don't think I have a preference. I'll do either, since I've kind of been raised up watching horror movies with my dad. That was our thing, and it's our thing to keep watching The Walking Dead on Sunday nights with each other. We have to drop everything and watch it no matter what. I don't really mind. It doesn't... Okay, well this one has a tongue. The other one didn't. That's why I colored its mouth black. You know what? We're just gonna fill that in solid black and pretend we didn't see the tongue. So I like both. Obviously, I'm coloring a cute book right now, and it's not... This book's not really creepy at all. This one's not. The Jade Summer one maybe a little, because it's got some of the monsters and stuff in it. So, I don't, it's hard for me to pick. I don't have a preference. I'll do either. I guess for coloring, I like coloring the cute stuff more than I like coloring the gory stuff, because the gory stuff to me is just like, I don't know, it's not my thing to color it. I like coloring the cute stuff. I know some people really like coloring, especially in Alan Roberts' Beauty of Horror books, but they're just not my thing. So I guess I'd have to go with cute and spooky, because that's what I like coloring in. Okay, what scares you most about being home alone? Okay, this, again, this all goes back to the whole... I'm gonna shake this marker if you hear it in the background. The whole being home alone and, like, someone breaks into my house and kidnaps me type thing. I don't like that. I always have the doors locked, and I have a dog with me, of course, so that makes me feel better. This paint marker is gonna have to have another layer, by the way, because it's not super dark. But mine is more so, yeah, it's not really ghosts or anything. It's like, I don't know, people scare me. Like, real people scare me more than anything. The good news is my donkeys are also kind of an alarm. Anytime someone pulls in, they go off and scream because they think it's me coming to feed them. They think I'm pulling in with food. I guess they can't very well differentiate the vehicles, so I even know when, like, UPS is here because they'll go off and start screaming. So you would have a hard time, I think, sneaking up on me, because they'd hear it, because the donkeys would go off, and the dog would... He doesn't usually bark, but he pays attention to the door, and I know if someone's pulled in or something, you know. So yeah, real people scare me. We're going to let that dry so we can go over it a few more times. Some of the Posca colors you have to go over several times to get a very solid opaque look. The pink one especially. Some of the darker colors like purple and dark blue you won't have to, but this one you have to especially. So, would you rather walk through a cornfield or a forest in the dark? Okay, so when I was little, I don't remember it too well. But, we went to a corn maze, and we got lost in it, so I'd rather walk in the woods at night. Just because I've been lost in a corn maze already, and I think if I was in a cornfield, I would just get lost again. So, yeah, I would do the forest at night. I mean, I already live in the forest at night. And yes, there are animals out here that I keep an eye on and make sure they're not coming up in the yard and stuff, but I would still feel just a lot safer in the forest at night. And there's no Children of the Forest movie. I mean, we got Children of the Corn. But yeah, I was just afraid I'd get lost in the cornfield, because we've been lost in a corn maze before. So, forest at night works for me. Plus, there's some cool animals out there at night. That's when you see possums, and I love possums. So, you know. But you're not really seeing any kind of cool animals in the cornfield at night. You know, it's a cornfield. We're gonna have to go over parts of that too, but that's fine. I just gotta let them dry for a second, otherwise I will put my hand in it and get it everywhere, and I do that all the time. If you could make a magic potion, what would it do, and what ingredients would it take to make it? So, I know what I want it to do, but I don't know what ingredients it would take to make it. I would want one so I can eat anything that I want to without feeling sick, because I have horrible acid reflux and I have horrible stomach problems, and I always have. So I'd like to be able to eat just like whatever I want anytime I want to and not feel sick afterwards. That would be great for me. But I don't know what I would put in it. Probably something that tastes good, because I wouldn't want it to be gross, you know? So, I don't know, some good spices, I guess. Maybe fruit flavored. Maybe I'd make it like a fruit smoothie. Do raspberry or kiwi or something. With some like vanilla, maybe. It would have to taste good, yeah, because I'll take medicine even if it's nasty, but I don't like to, you know? I don't want to. I think no one wants to, exactly. You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna press this Posca marker because it's a little more dull than I think it needs to be. There we go. That's way better. Okay. There we go. I fixed it. I had to just pump it again. So yeah, I know what it would do for sure. I just don't know what I'd want to put in it. I guess, like I said, I'd want it to kind of be like a fruit smoothie or something that tastes really, really good. I'm more of a fruit person than a chocolate person. So yeah, some kind of fruit smoothie, but no bananas in it because I don't like the taste of banana. And I know that's sort of controversial because like everybody loves bananas, right? Not me. No, I hate banana. So it'd have to be, yeah, it'd have to be like raspberry, kiwi. I don't know, orange would be good too. What was your favorite Halloween costume of all time? I talked about this, I think, in the fall one. And I said that I wore a horse costume at some point when I was younger, and I thought that it was cute. So it's my favorite costume. And I talked in there that I was kind of a weird kid that didn't exactly like going trick-or-treating or dressing up at school or anything. So I haven't worn that many costumes, and unfortunately I don't know if I have a photo of it or not. I know that my mom texted me a photo of it a while after that video went up. Let me see if I can find that photo. Yeah, there it is. Okay. It's like a photo of a photo on a phone. There we go. And we're in front of like the nicely decorated house because my mom always decorates with mums and pumpkins and everything, but I'm like in a little horse costume. There's a picture of it. I would say that was my favorite. Okay, and then this next question I've thought about way too much. So this next question is the friend question. If you had to have one of these as a friend, who would you pick and why? So the choices are Michael Myers, Pennywise, Alien, Predator, or Freddy Krueger. So, as far as Michael Myers, Pennywise, Freddy Krueger go, they're all murderers. So no. And Freddy Krueger, he appears in your dreams, and I already don't get good sleep, so I don't need him to appear in my dreams and bother me. I need him to leave me alone. Especially when I'm sleeping. But as far as, like, Pennywise goes, not a fan of clown to begin with, and then murderous clown, yeah, no. Michael Myers, he seems to favor murdering women, right? At least I've seen a lot of the Halloween movies, and, like, that's most of his victims, so I feel like he would turn on me or maybe my friends. And then we have Predator and Alien. Okay. I don't know how many of you have seen the Predator movies. I don't know how many of you have seen the Alien movies. Predator is like... they're smart. They're a little more humanoid, okay? They kind of have a more advanced society. They make weapons and everything. So I wouldn't want it to be Predator either because, yeah, they're smart, you know? They're making weapons. They kind of have an advanced society, even though they are like this large reptilian thing. And then they have the whole heat-seeking ability, and they can turn invisible. So I would pick Alien, and I have some reasons on why you should also pick Alien, okay? So, in the later Alien movies, they depict the aliens as being more dog-like. And I actually have watched some stuff about how they made the Alien movies. And they chose specifically to base them on dogs for the way dogs move and everything. It was very easy to make the models move like a dog versus making them move like, well, an alien, I guess. So, it's like a big space dog, right? They're kind of like reptile or amphibian looking, and I already like reptiles and amphibians, and it's sort of like a big jog. And, okay, you know, Ripley was able to overcome. She was the final person left standing, her and her little cat. So seemingly they're not interested in, you know, other animals except people. And I think since it's sort of like a big jog, and it's not as smart as Predator, you know, it's not got its... They have a queen, right? I guess they're like ants, where they have a queen and then like workers. But they're not as advanced enough to make weapons or anything, so it's more like an animal, right? And I think you could tame and train your own alien. And you could have a big alien jog reptile thing. And maybe you could feed it people that you didn't like, right? So I would have to go with the alien. I think that's the only logical choice. Freddy Krueger's a murderer, and he also bothers you in your dreams. So that's a bad idea. Michael Myers is a murderer, and he seems to favor female victims, so that's not good for me. Pennywise, well, he seems to, you know, it's children, but I'm not a fan of clowns to begin with, and I don't wish harm on anyone. I don't like that he eats kids, you know? I know that he is, like, according to the Stephen King book, supposedly also an alien that sort of appears as what you fear most. So he probably appears as a clown for me, too, and I don't like that. And like I said with Predator, they're very smart, they're very advanced, they can be invisible, they have that crazy heat-seeking thing, so no Predator. I think Alien is the most logical choice, you know? You have your big alien jog, and you keep them in your house, and you take them on walks, and then nobody in the neighborhood would bother you when they see you walking that thing around. They would know you mean business. No one's gonna break into your house ever when they see that looking through the window back at them. Yeah, Alien. Alien just makes sense. And then it asks to tag people. But you guys know I'm weird about tagging anyone because I don't want to bother anyone. So anyone who wants to do this, of course, can. If you like Halloween as much as I do, you can do this tag. And I would like to know what everyone answers because I think there are a lot of fun and creative questions here that some of them definitely I had to think about them for a while. Like the alien one, I put too much thought into that. But, you know, it was a fun question. I had to put too much thought into it. I'm going to finish up here with the glitter. I'm going to do a little green in the eyes and the mouth, and then we will be done. And this video is not an hour long, and it is going to go up on Halloween, but I'm coloring it a little bit early because on Halloween I will be busy. What is Halloween? It's a Saturday, right? It's this Saturday. Yeah, so I have two different professors that like to give exams on Saturdays, and Saturday is the only day you can take it, so I'm kind of busy on Saturdays now. I have to take exams on those days. Not exactly the most fun thing in the world. Wish they'd do that at a different time. But, you know, I'm not in control of it, so I just kind of have to do what they say. And if they want it to be on Saturday, I have to do it on Saturday. So I did this like a day early. But I hope everyone has a nice Halloween. I've talked before, we don't get trick-or-treaters because we're too rural. But if you guys get trick-or-treaters, I kind of want to know what the popular costume this year is going to be. I don't have any guesses. There weren't that many Marvel movies that came out this year, and I think that would be like what kids would be most likely to dress up as. Squid Game on Netflix is popular, but that's not a kids show, so I think that'll be a popular adult costume, not for kids. I have no idea what people are going to dress up as this year. I can't think of anything really that, I don't know. We had Tiger King last year that kind of came out and was like a big cultural thing for a while. I guess maybe it would be Squid Game this year for adults, like I said. But I have no idea. I can't think of what people are going to dress up as. I would be interested, though, to know what the bestseller this year is for costumes. Especially for kids. So, like I said, I don't really keep up with kids' movies either. I guess Luca came out this year from Disney, but I have no idea. I can't think of what people might dress up as this year. And, of course, like I said, I don't get to see them dress up since we don't get trick-or-treaters. So I would be interested in knowing what you saw the most in your trick-or-treaters. Did you see a bunch of Squid Game Did you see? What were kids doing? What did they dress up as? Okay. So I think this picture is done and good. I will hold it up to the camera and we'll see if the glitter will kind of show. There we go. And just real quick before I end the video, since it's been short, I'll show you the bat. If you stayed around this long, here's the replica of Lucille. It's huge, so I can't like actually fit it all on camera. But this sits above me because I'm such a big Walking Dead fan. At some point I'll have to do a video where I show off all my Walking Dead memorabilia, just to show it all off if anyone's interested in seeing it. But thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have a happy Halloween.